Hey guys, what's up? Zax here. Today we are back for more of the Go-Karting Championship. This is the final round of this season and it's good stuff. I'm not going to lie, some really good racing in here. I'm really happy about it and it's nice to sort of end the season on a really good note. And this is qualifying, so you don't really need to worry about overtakes and stuff, but I'll just quickly go through the helmets and everything. On the left hand side of the screen, first off I should say, is me. On the right hand side of the screen is my dad, and James has got the black and red helmet. I've obviously got the blue helmet. Tom has got the black and white helmet, and obviously my dad has the plain white helmet. So yeah, unfortunately for us, only 4 people ended up coming to this event, so a little bit disappointing to end the season with not that many people. But apart from that, I've got to say this was an amazing couple of races here. A lot of fun, and I'm just happy that, as I said, we could end the season on some really good racing. And yeah, so you might notice the difference on the quality on the left hand side to the right hand side. I'm not too sure why, but I've got the new camera on the left hand side of the screen and my dad's got the older camera on the right hand side of the screen. But the right hand side of the screen looks better, doesn't it? But the audio quality on my dad's camera, the older one, is well, it's not my dad's camera, but it's the one that he's using in this video. The GoPro HD Hero 2, I don't know what's wrong with it, but the sound quality is really quite bad. It sort of glitches out quite a bit now. If you're subscribed to my channel where I just upload the races, you might have heard that the quality is just a bit weird. But I'm not too sure what's happening on the left hand side of the screen either. My camera sort of fogged up quite a bit in this first race of qualifying session, I should say, and I don't know why it sort of fogged up quite a bit. So that's a little bit annoying, but I guess you can't really do much. GoPros, I can't really stop in the middle of the race and then realise, oh, it's fogging up a bit, but I just got to leave it like that. And then obviously after this race I cleared the lens and everything. I'm not too sure whether it's the seals or anything are loose on it. The GoPro seal is loose or it's not working properly, I don't know. But a little trip again across the grass there, just testing the waters, how much I could push around that corner there. But yeah, I'm not too sure what's wrong with both these GoPros seem to not be working at 100%, but I'll try and figure it out. I mean, obviously I don't really use them an awful lot, maybe that's the reason why, I don't know. But anyway, so qualifying doesn't really matter too much where the overtakes happen and everything, but I've got to say Tom was incredibly fast this weekend, and it was nice to see because he's had a really tough season. In all honesty, his pace has been very up and down at some points. Sometimes he's been the fastest guy out there, sometimes he's been the slowest guy out there, and I think a lot of it's down to the kart. And unfortunately, when you're taller, the kart does make a massive difference. If you're in a good kart and you're tall, and let's not say like heavy, but if you weigh more than the other guys, which I do and my dad does, both of us weigh the most out of everyone here, because we're both tall, taller than everyone else here as well. So yeah, so that's a little bit annoying to have, obviously, that part in you that you can't really change. So yeah, so unfortunately for me and my dad, we're heavier than the other guys, which means we're generally slower in a straight line. But I don't want to be making excuses, because at the end of the day, it's not supposed to, it's not going to be all the time. It's not going to be exactly fair, is it? Because every time someone's got a different car, that sort of stuff. So there you can see on the right hand side of the screen that Tom has got past James. He made a mistake, and Tom actually got in front of James here, which is absolutely key to Tom getting a good qualifying time here, because he's getting stuck up behind James, who's never driven this track, or this version of the track before. I don't know, have I mentioned that? I don't even know. We're on the different layout of the track, the one that we did in round 2 as well. Sort of when it's sort of intermediate conditions, let's say it's like rain. It's been raining and it stopped raining, those sort of conditions. When it's full wet conditions, they normally use the main track, so that's a little bit strange, but hopefully you guys understand what I mean. When there's intermediate conditions, they use this track, and when it's full wet conditions, they use the main track, the normal track. So anyway, what I was talking about Tom, you can see he's already pulled away from James here, and that, as I said, very key for his qualifying, because getting stuck up behind James would be quite bad, because James, in all honesty, in qualifying wasn't that fast. I think he could tell you that himself. He just wasn't that fast in qualifying, because he didn't know this track. He was learning it more than trying to get the perfect lap time here. So for James, it was all about just getting a good lap. It was just all about learning the track, and then in the races, it was about going for good lap times and getting a good position. But at the moment, he's just really learning the track, as I said. And Overall, I thought it was a pretty good time for me. We're just talking about how my performance was this weekend. I was pushing in qualifying quite a bit to find the limits, if you will, because if you look at the left-hand side of the screen, it's already getting fogged up, so I'm sorry about that. But basically, I was just really pushing to try and find every little tenth of a second in qualifying. And obviously, as the races went on, race 1, obviously the track was dry. Race 2, it was even drier. So race 2, you would get the fastest lap time, but in qualifying, I think I drove the best in qualifying. Unfortunately, you want to drive good in qualifying, but you want to drive best in the race, because obviously the race is where you get most of the points. So yeah, for me, that was a bit annoying that I couldn't extract maybe the 100% in the races. But you know, I can't go and win every single race, can I? It'd be a bit boring for you guys to watch, and it's just pretty much impossible to do that. I mean, I luckily have actually, I wanted to do it all season, win both races and get pole position, sort of get the Grand Slam, I think that's what they call it in Formula 1, when you pretty much get everything you can. Like Vettel gets pole, fastest lap, led every lap and all that sort of stuff, and basically I wanted to do that. That's the next target, isn't it? Lead every lap and do it all as well. But I have it was actually round number 11, you guys saw it. I won, I came first in qualifying, I won race 1, won race 2, maximum 35 points. I also got the maximum 35 points in round number 10, but we only did one race in that one, so obviously it's a little bit different in terms of, obviously it's a little bit easier because in a reverse grid race, obviously a lot more stuff can happen, and obviously we will do a reverse grid in this one as well, which should be exciting. I'm looking forward to that one. Obviously when there's more people, it makes the reverse grids a lot more exciting, and guys, I've got to say, I am really trying hard to figure out a way to make next season 2015 sort of a bit more affordable to all. At the moment it's £30 a time that we go karting, so it's £30 for each sort of round, so that you can work it out yourself at what, £360 to do every single round. Over a year, that's not too bad, but you guys know what I mean. I can definitely make that cheaper, so that's what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of months. There is going to be a winter championship, by the way, guys. I've got that planned. We're going to be doing a winter championship and an endurance race to start that off as well, so that should be good. We're going to have wheel back and everything as well, so it should be exciting. The endurance race, you'll see, it'll be on this channel, don't worry guys. It'll be about, I'd say about a month's time from when this is uploaded. You'll probably see uploaded to this channel, so that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to commentating over that afterwards. It should be pretty hectic, but yeah, so that is that. And what was I talking about? Oh yeah, making 2015 the main series a lot cheaper. That's my aim. I've got to figure out what we do in terms of costs, and we pretty much get a sort of a cut price anyway, because it's supposed to be £40 at Filching Manor, but we get it for £30 because basically we go there, you know, we go there more often than a lot of people, so they're nice. Everyone there's really nice and friendly, so we got a discount. We didn't even ask for it; they just gave us a discount, which was pretty cool. So yeah, so if you go to Filching Manor a lot, guys, you might get that discount as well. Just letting you guys know. So yeah, that was good, and but I won't be like asking for more money off, because that's just a bit bad. Oh look, there's James spinning around. Don't actually often see James doing mistakes. He's been very clean in his driving. He's very smooth and doesn't do any sort of silly mistakes. But that's a spin from him, and maybe just trying a little bit too hard to extract the 100% out of the car. And where I'm just like losing where I'm talking about here, but yeah, basically I will be looking into making the championship cheaper, possibly doing shorter qualifying sessions, maybe doing 2 10-minute races and a 5-minute qualifying session. That would save £5 a go, and over a season, you know, that would save, depending on how many rounds we did, in excess maybe of £100. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that all plays out. But definitely 2015 should be even better, guys. Hoping to make sure at least every round we get 4 people. That's the minimum I want this time. And if we don't get 4 people that are okay, you know, all okay to go, what I'll probably be doing is sort of not abandoning the races, but like delaying the races for a week or whatever, to make sure we can get at least 4 people a go. Because I realise it's not exactly the cheapest hobby in the world, but I want to make sure that the races are interesting for all. Because if there's only 3 people, it seems a bit pointless in a way, because it's not really much of a challenge. But at least when you have 4 people, there's a fight for that last podium position. Because obviously, I don't know whether you guys have ever told you or anything, but you might have seen my setup video, but you do get medals and everything if you do these sort of if you do 30 minutes and races and stuff. I think it's sort of like a Grand Prix, it's called, is what they've sort of got it listed under. Basically, if you do that, you get a medal for first, second and third, which is cool. That's all included in the price as well. So basically, I think this is a really good, affordable way to get karting. Obviously, I don't have my own go-kart. A lot of you guys wondering why I don't. I mean, you could say I probably could afford one if I really wanted to, but then who do I have to race against? I find it more fun to race against my friends, and you know, you can have a little, you know, bit of, you know, talking about the race is a lot more fun with your friends because you can sort of joke about it a bit more. But when you're up against sort of people that are competing for a championship and stuff, it's maybe not as light-hearted because some people want to get far in motorsport and go up to like Formula 1 and stuff from karting, and I honestly just find this a lot more fun. Who knows? I would like to challenge myself, guys. I would really like to challenge myself and maybe do a professional go-kart race at some point. I'm not too sure, but I'd like to just see that. I don't know. We'll see what goes in the future. But anyway, qualifying. So a nice turn up for the books there, with Tom getting second place. I got pole. James got third, and my dad got fourth. So yeah, nice to see Tom getting a good lap time in there. And here we are, race number 1. So lights are out. There we are. They're finally out. I was about to say they're not going to go out, but yes, they do. And look at this move from James. He tries to go down the middle of us here. I didn't realise until like until he'd got halfway, his cart halfway through there. I didn't realise he was even trying to get through the middle there. But yeah, so James ended up dropping back there. So I'm in the lead. My dad is in second place there, as you can see on the screens. And I think Tom's in third. I think Tom's in third, and James is in fourth here. But as soon as I knew my dad was in second place here, I realised he was slowest in qualifying, so I thought this is a pretty good opportunity for me here to maybe go out and get a really good result, because obviously when you're in the lead, you've got sort of a bit of pressure in behind, but I knew my dad was slower, so I was sort of thinking this is the part of the race where I need to push, and then later on in the race when I've got the gap, I don't need to like risk it, if that makes any sense. So I was sort of thinking now is the time to push. Obviously, no offense to my dad, but he was a little bit slower this weekend than all of us. So he was somehow, I don't know how he got a good start for once, which is nice to see. Normally he gets bad starts, but he was on one of the sort of only parts of the track that was actually dry on the start-finish straight. So you can see the track has definitely got drier. This top end of the track is virtually dry. Some little patches of wet track, but you can see down here, this is when it sort of gets a bit more damp, and this bottom part of the track is definitely where the rain is at. You can see the dry line starting to appear, but this is where the track is definitely damp, and up here through to turn 1, that's the part of the track that's sort of damp, and I was all over the place some laps in qualifying in race 1. I just I wanted to make sure I didn't sort of not give it my 100%, if that makes sense. I want to make sure I give my 100% in each every race, because I don't always look, you know, there was one occasion this year where I looked back at me and thinking like I could have won that race if I'd gone for that move, and yeah, that was in round 2, I think, when Ben won his first race. I think I had a chance to overtake him, but I didn't capitalise on it, and one of those things. One of those things, but you know, you live and you learn. I think that's the saying. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, so you can see I've got about a 3-4 second gap now, so that is good, and it means that I've got that buffer there. So even if Tom is faster, which it definitely does look like he is than me in race pace, I have that buffer now, which it might be quite unlikely for him to catch. And I can see I'm starting to look over. When I was doing this race, I was starting to get annoyed with myself. And that sounds stupid, but I was looking over my shoulder and looking where everyone was. I did it like 4 or 5 laps in a row, I think. And I was like, stop doing it, Alex. When you look over your shoulder and everything, it sort of makes you go a little bit slower in a way, because you're not concentrating 100% on the race and you're concentrating a little bit on where everyone else is. So I was getting frustrated at myself. I think, you know, I constantly did it around this part of the track here. So do I look? Do I look? Do I look? No, I don't look. But it's this straight here where I always ended up looking. But yeah, I just needed to get it out of my head, stop doing that, and yeah, basically just concentrate on the actual race instead of looking about what's happening. So yeah, nice comfortable lead there, which is good for me, and really now it's just about not doing anything too silly, and just hoping now that I can bring home another good result. I'm going to quickly run down the order going into this round about how the championship was looking. and go through the wins and polls and everything. I'll try and point out when any action happens on the screen, but I'm just got my trusty piece of paper here with all the information on it. So going into this round, I had 302 points, so that was really good for me. 302 points in 11 rounds that I'd competed in was definitely good, and obviously in the 12th round I was looking to make it even more, so I was on 302, Ben was on 139. I'm not going down it in actual order, I'm just going down it in order of what's on my sheet here. So Ben was on 139, Job was on 123, Tom was on 130, and then Harry was on 71, my dad was 149, Will was on 138, Ryan on 10, James on 87, Will's dad was on 20, and Callum is on 20 as well. So what can happen in this final round? So basically Tom going into this final round in 5th place, and he can get second place. Just needs to obviously see if my dad makes any mistakes or anything. If my dad ends up like crashing and not being able to do one of the races, Tom could actually still take second place in the championship. But it's not too likely, let's be honest, because my dad is a bit more of a... Once he realised he's got this gap, he wasn't pushing too hard in these final couple of rounds, because he didn't want to do anything silly. He just wanted to get to the end of the season here and make sure we weren't, make sure we didn't do any sort of silly crashes or anything. There's no need to, because he'd already got ahead of Ben and Will, so he's in second place going into this round here. So yeah, he was looking good for second place in the championship. But Tom goes into this race 9 points behind Ben and 8 points behind Will. So if Tom finished in 3rd place here, he would automatically be 3rd place in the championship. But if he finishes in 4th place in this race, he is still 5th place in the championship, because he'd equal the same amount of points as Will on 138 points. But he would not have the race wins that Will has, so he would then be behind, because obviously if you draw on points, it's about who has more race wins. And there is James's move. He's got himself up into 2nd place. Now my dad, I don't know, looking at that, he could have been a lot more defensive there. Will, what am I saying? James definitely being a bit opportunistic there and putting the cart down the inside and managing to get the move done. So it's a big ask, but for James to close down, I'd say it's about a 10-second gap here. But who knows, he might be able to do it. It might even be more than that. It might even be like a 12-13 second gap here. But it's a big ask for James. He might be able to do it by making mistakes. So there's no point giving up here, as we've got about 4 minutes left, I think. So yeah, so we just need to... I just need to be sensible on my screen. We just need to not do anything silly, and we've got this win. So that's another 15 points, as well as the 5 points for pole. So that put me on to 20 points. And what else is going on? So obviously Tom, he needs to score 10 points in this, 10 points overall in these 2 races, and he'll become 3rd in the race. Because obviously Ben was hoping to come to this round, but unfortunately he couldn't at the last minute. He couldn't go to the round again, so that's just a bit unfortunate, because Ben, he's been a really good guy to race against, a good friend. Everyone here is a good friend, and it's always nice to race against everyone here. Obviously got Job, who's a bit aggressive, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, so yeah, it's just a bit unfortunate Ben couldn't come to these last 3 rounds, but I just suppose that's that. Not everyone can make it to every round. And let's talk about the wins. So going into this round, I had 8 wins, Ben had 2 wins, Will had 4 wins, Job had 2 wins, my dad had a win, Harry had a win, Will's dad had a win, and James had a win. So only 3 people going into this round hadn't got a win, which were Tom, Callum and Ryan. So those are the 3 that hadn't got a win so far. And in terms of pole positions, there I've had 5 going to this round, but obviously I've got 6 now. Will had 2, my dad had 2, and Ben had 1. So obviously, as I did more rounds than those guys, I got more poles and I got more wins. But I got to say, guys, it was really fun. Overall, this championship has just been so much fun. I look forward to it every month, going to these races and just having a really good time, and getting good results and everything, and just having a bit of, catching up with friends and stuff is a lot harder after you finish school, because obviously everyone's gone off in jobs, or they've gone to further education, and everyone's sort of mixed up a little bit more. So it was really nice to catch up with everyone every week, every month, with go-karting as well. Obviously adds that sort of competitive edge in there as well. And yeah, overall I've got to say it's been so much fun doing this championship, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching it as well. And I will continue doing these videos every month. I'll continue doing these videos as long as you guys still find them somewhat interesting, and I hope you guys do. And yeah, so we'd have done 22 races, because there are 12 rounds obviously, but 2 of the rounds only had 1 race, so 22 rounds. And how many pole positions? Oh, I'm getting, because one of the races in no qualifying, so I think overall we had 11 pole positions. Let me count them up. 6, 8. Yeah, 11. Yeah, it's 11. Wow, I should really have wrote that down before talking about it in the video. But yeah, 11 pole positions and 22 races. So yeah, I'm looking at the sort of results here. I'm happy with what I accomplished this season, and it's been very steady. Not very steady, but it's been very consistent, I'd say, throughout the whole season. I didn't give up. When the odds were looking against me, in terms of race points and stuff, I just never gave up in the races, and that was always a big thing. So I didn't want to, as I said earlier on in this race, I didn't want to ever think to myself that I could have given more in that race, because you can always look back and say ifs and buts, but if you give 100%, you can't say that. So my dad's finished on his side of the screen, he's finished the race, and I've finished across the line there as well. So once again, a pretty lucky race for me. I mean, I don't like to use the word luck, but of all the people to get into second place on the first corner, I'm sort of lucky it was my dad, because obviously he held them up a little bit, and Tom actually didn't end up getting past my dad there, so that's not too great for him. So that is that. One more round to go. One more race to go. So, my dad didn't finish. Sorry, my mistake. There we go. My dad's going across the line there. He's just a bit slow on the final lap there. So there we are. There are the race results there. I won. James was in second. My dad ended up in third place with Tom right behind him. And this is the final race of the season. The 22nd race of the season. Now, is it going to be fireworks, or is everyone going to keep their cool? Anyway, let's look down into turn 1 as Tom's going side by side. He's got pole position, obviously, because of the reverse grid. My dad spins around and somehow managed to avoid him. So does James. Neither has hit the side of his car or anything there, so that was lucky. And James goes for a spin as well. So in the space of a couple of corners there, I went from 4th to 2nd, and that's because 2 people spun. And I can see on my dad's side of the screen there, he's trying to get around James. He wasn't too sure. He was going quite slowly there. So my dad, once again, has had the luck turned against him, and I just feel sorry for him at sometimes, because he has bad starts all the time, because obviously he is taller than everyone else here, and obviously it means he weighs more than everyone else here, which means that he has bad starts all the time. And if he starts on 2nd or 1st place in the grid, he pretty much ends up in 5th or 6th place with a full grid by the first turn, just because he's such a slow start. And I feel sorry for him about that, but what can you do? I mean, that's just that, isn't it, at the end of the day? But you can see, look at the gap that Tom has got, and at this point I was like, I've got to keep pushing. I mean, this could be another win for me. If I won this race, I would have won 10 races this season. And that would be absolutely massive for me to win 10 races out of the 22. That would be absolutely awesome. And also, I don't think I've ever said this. I've really just sprung to my head suddenly. But I've got an Instagram page, you guys, where I post some pictures of go-karting and stuff. So if you want to follow me on there, I'll leave a link to that down in the description. Anyway, moving away from the Alex Yaffer advertisements, back to the race. So yeah, Tom's in the lead, I'm in 2nd, and my dad is in 3rd with James in 4th. And at this point in the race, I'm like, wow, Tom is really fast, isn't he? I was really surprised here, because I was like, how did he finish 4th in the first race if he's this quick? And that thought keeps springing to my head throughout this race, and I was just a bit confused, really. But yeah, that's just that, isn't it? You gotta understand that sometimes some races you're good, some races you're bad, and that's just how it is in go-karting. You're not every time it's a different race, if you will. So my dad is, as he told me afterwards, that he was just trying to get to the end of these races here. He wanted to take part in them, obviously, because he wanted to get 2nd place in the championship and obviously take part in as many rounds as possible. And you know, I've got to say thanks to him, because I'm not too sure how many dads actually willing to do karting and everything. It's nice, nice family racing time. So yeah, but yeah, it's nice to see my dad still wants to do racing and stuff. Even though obviously he could do other stuff, but he decides to come go karting and stuff, which is nice. It means, you know, a bit of competitive edge in the family. We both want to beat each other in the races, and we both want to enjoy it as much as possible. But my dad's got the win this season. He's got a win this season, I should say. So he's shown that he's the quickest. He can be the quickest over a race distance. He has numerous, you know, it's not just one time that he's fought for the win. He has won one race, as James goes past my dad there for third place. He has won only one race, but he has fought for I think at least 3 or 4 races. He's been in the contention for the win in the last couple of laps, and he was side by side with Harry when Harry won his race. He was side by side with him. So my dad definitely got that competitive spirit, and he's always enjoying it, which is nice to see. And yeah, I got to say thanks to him, and obviously everyone else that, you know, ended up going to this. So I'll read through everyone's names. So thanks to Ben, thanks to Job, thanks to Tom, thanks to Harry, thanks to my dad, thanks to Will, thanks to Ryan, thanks to James, thanks to Will's dad, and thanks to Callum. Thank you to all of them that ended up attending these races throughout the season. When I started it, I ordered 10 trophies at the start of the year, or 10 trophies and medals, depending on where you finished. And I honestly didn't think we were ever going to get 10 people racing. About halfway through the year, I think we only had about 7 people actually done races. And at that point, I was a bit sort of disheartened. It's like, oh, I spent this money, and now nobody's going to actually end up using these trophies. But thank you to the guys that ended up coming to the event, and yeah, it means a lot. I mean, it might sound a bit weird, but it does actually mean a lot that some of my friends actually really wanted to, you know, do go-karting. I mean, obviously I'm a big motorsport fan, but some of my friends don't watch motorsport. They have nothing to get. They don't care about motorsport, but they wanted to come go-karting as they found it a bit of fun, and it's really nice to see. And it's really nice to see that Tom has got the pace in the kart, and he's been putting in some good lap times, and it's really nice to see him winning this race. And I bet you guys are thinking, well, you're just giving him this race win, aren't you? Well, no, I didn't. I didn't give him this race win at all. And he's leading this race very, very easily here, but he's putting in some absolutely amazing lap times. He put in a lap time faster, 3/10 faster than anyone else this whole. He put a lap time in 3/10 of a second faster than anyone this whole sort of weekend, this round number 12. He had the fastest lap by 3/10 of a second. So that shows you Tom had the pace this time, and he let my dad back through because he thought it was a bit of an aggressive overtake. It wasn't an aggressive overtake, but Tom was being courteous and showing that he doesn't want to do anything silly. So here I was a little bit unsure about what was happening, so I just braked a little bit there to make sure that nothing silly happened. I probably could have gone past Tom there in hindsight, but in reality I didn't want to be involved in an accident or anything there, because it's the last round of the season. I don't need to be doing anything silly here. I've won the championship. It's all a bit of fun now for me. I don't need to be risking it to get points. And yes, that would have been risky it for me to go down the inside of there, and especially as Tom. And here I was trying to go to the outside here. Tom braked a little bit early, so we nearly crashed into each other. But just as I said about not risking it, but yeah, so it was getting towards the end of the day. As you can see, the shadows starting to come out, and really, Tom just had so much pace. It was sort of frustrating for me to see how much pace he had. I was like, wow, Tom really is fast here, and it was nice to see. I mean, maybe I think you guys have said in the comment section of the videos numerous times that Tom's style of driving isn't maybe best suited to go-karting, but today, you know, it's not like I had a bad kart or anything as well. He was just literally fast, and that's really good to see. He didn't have a new engine in his go-kart either. None of us had new engines, so it was not, you know, not that much of an advantage. And especially if you have a new engine, by the way, in these go-karts, guys, because I think about 5 of them. I think 5 of them have new engines. So those 5 go-karts are about a second a lap faster than any other go-kart. So yeah, so that's just that. But yeah, none of our karts here today had new engines or anything, so it was just pure speed. And nice to see that Tom had the pure speed and he wasn't doing anything silly. I was trying like 150% here to get, well, 150%. That's a stupid saying. 100%. I was giving 100% in this race, and I just couldn't keep up with him. At the start, in all honesty, guys, I was thinking, well, let's just try and conserve this second place here. It wouldn't be bad to finish the season with the second. But then I started pushing 100%. And I still couldn't catch him. So Tom was just so fast, and these final laps of the race, he started to pull away once again. There were a couple of laps here where I did actually close up a little bit on him, but I wasn't close enough, really close enough to get into the slipstream, which maybe I was in the slipstream, I might have been to get past, but he was just so much faster around the rest of the lap that I couldn't get anywhere near him. He was a bit wide there, but turn 1 was definitely the only turn really that was challenging throughout this round race number 1 and 2. Qualifying is a different story because the track was a little bit more wet, but as the day went on, the track got a lot drier. So yeah, overall, it was a nice way to end the season, as I said at the start. And Tom looking like he's going to bring home a victory, which would be absolutely awesome for him. And it would, sadly for him, he can't win the championship now. So what am I saying? He can't come second in the championship now, which for him maybe a bit annoying for him. Obviously, he'd have liked to get second if he could, but he couldn't quite get it right at the end of the season. In the last 3 rounds, he's got his best results of the season: 24 points, 20 points, and 23 points. So Tom, the last couple of rounds, has been putting in some great performances, and yeah, his best points finish before that was 15 points. And yeah, then he goes into round 10, round 11, round 12, and scores what's that? 67 points in the last couple of rounds, which is really good. And nice to see that he's always, he's never giving up, which is nice to see as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the championship now, because we're all looking ahead to the endurance race that we're going to be doing in December with Will, and hopefully Will's dad, and hopefully Harry and Job. Just hopefully as many people as possible will turn up for this endurance race we've got planned for December, which is going to be the first round of the Winter Championship. I don't know how it's going to work. I'll explain it in the video, how it's all going to work in terms of points and everything. But overall, this is it. The last lap of the championship. Across the start-finish line there, the checker flag waves. Tom wins the final round of the season. James laps my dad there for in 3rd place there, I should say. Giving Tom's the thumbs up, and nice to see 9 of the 11 people that entered this championship ended up getting wins, which is really cool to see. And nice to see that it wasn't just one person winning every single race. Obviously, I did win a lot of the races. I won 9 of 22 races. But still, there's 13 other races won by other people. So over half the races won by other people, and obviously I'd done more rounds than everyone else. So yeah, nice to see Ben, Will, Job, my dad, Harry, Will's dad, James, and Tom get wins. And yeah, a really nice way to end up the championship. And I couldn't ask for a better of a challenge there in that final race to try and catch Tom. But yeah, that's just it. And I couldn't catch Tom, and I ended up in 2nd place and 32 points my way for that round. So Tom won that race, then I'm in 2nd, and obviously James in 3rd, and my dad in 4th. And there is the driver standings. I am champion on 334 points, then my dad on 167, Tom on 153, Ben on 139, beats Will, who's on 138, then Job on 123, James on 109 after only doing a couple of rounds at the end of the season. Harry on 71, Will's dad on 20, ahead of Callum, who's got 20 as well, but obviously Will's dad has got the race win. And in 11th place, it is your boy Ryan, who ends up in 11th place with 10 points after only doing 1 round. But he did enjoy it, which is nice. So everyone, thanks again for watching the series. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you soon for more. Goodbye!